Hello. We are so excited to be here, and we want to introduce ourselves. We are the Senior Resource Team, and we want to give you a little bit of info about each one of us and let you know why we even decided to do this podcast.
Yes, this has been a long time coming, and we have began to work together over time as we all realize that we have a common passion for seniors and the services that they receive and the lack of knowledge out there and how we can disseminate that information. So today, the first guest to my left over here is Kendra Marderosian. She is an attorney who specializes in real estate and estate planning. So I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about how seniors became a passion of hers and why that's important to her.
So I think that, as we go through life and we choose what we're going to do for a living, we all want to find value in what we do. And I think that value comes with helping people. So as an attorney, my goal, my job is supposed to be to help people. And I started doing real estate closings. As I was doing those closings, I realized that there was a big discrepancy between families who were dealing with selling a house with an elderly homeowner or someone who was deceased. There was a big discrepancy between the families that had prepared for this opportunity and those who were not prepared for it. And that's where the help started to come in. So I saw this gap in understanding of, what's going to happen, how do we get the house sold, how do we go through this process? And it became of interest to me. I thought, well, why is this happening? Why is it so easy for some families and not so easy for others? So I decided to learn about estate planning. And I went to a lot of seminars. I reached out to a lot of attorneys. It's kind of an interesting thing. You think we're in the same field, there's going to be competition, but attorneys are actually very willing to work with you and teach you things, and you can learn a lot from them. They're very willing to mentor. So I decided to get into estate planning as well, to try to help people in this situation where they have an elderly homeowner who is maybe not able to handle the process themselves, to help them get the paperwork in place that's needed to make it run more smoothly, and also to get the paperwork in place for when someone passes away so that their property can be distributed more smoothly as well. So really, I guess it came from seeing a need in the community and realizing that there was a solution and teaching myself how to be a catalyst for people to get to that solution point.
I love that. That's awesome. And in the center, in red today, if you can't see us, we have Jordan Kagan. Commonly known in our area as the Man of Silver. So we'll let him tell you all about that.
Thank you, Shannon. So I grew up in the watch and jewelry industry. My father in the early 1960s started Smart Jewelers, and I spent about 25 years working there, learning about jewelry and watches. And the day he retired, in 2011, we started together what was really originally meant to be a high-end gold buying operation. It's when the price of gold was high and there were cash for gold stores everywhere. And I pretty quickly realized in that first year that my competition was everybody that bought gold. So all the coin stores and all the pawn stores and the jewelry stores, they all bought gold. That was in their window, we buy gold. What no one emphasized was sterling silver, and no one emphasized or was willing to go to someone's home to buy. And the sterling silver flatware sets and the sterling silver tea sets, they're really heavy. And I realized, it's hard for someone 25 years old sometimes to move these. But some people had 3 and 4 sets of these that they inherited from grandma, from an aunt. They were a wedding present. So it turned into be like a niche business and a service business. And I realized that that they often are dealing with emotions, and these are heirlooms, and they might not be logical emotions, but there are emotions and stories that go with this. So I really feel when I go to someone's home, I'm often playing psychologist as much as someone buying the metals.
We never do that as real estate agents. We're never therapists.
And I just love what I do. I love helping them. I love taking what they no longer want, wear, or use and turn it into money that can hopefully create some new memories. Sometimes people need money. Often, thank goodness, they don't need money. And I will say, take a vacation, take a staycation, do a little mini family reunion. Say that grandma took us all out for dinner one last time. And where did the name of the Man of Silver come about? I got married to my wife March of 2020. It was like, as we could joke around, it was the first like virtual wedding. For the most part, everyone was on Facebook Live watching.
That was the pandemic that started.
We had to push up our wedding a week. And 2 weeks later, I was furloughed from what was my full-time job then. And that, to me, was like perfect timing. You know, I believe in God, and I felt like it was godly intervention. Like 2 weeks after my wedding, I was furloughed. I was able to empty out my bachelor pad of 5 years. Fell back in love with this business that I first had years ago, and realized that as people were cleaning out their house during COVID on lockdown, I was able to do safely appointments in people's backyards and in their garage. So, you know, they had stuff to sell. I was able to buy it, and within 10 weeks, this business was full-time almost from launch day. Used social media and Facebook. And one day I looked at my wife and says, this is a real business now. I need a name that says my niche is silver. She's like, yeah, you're the Man of Silver. So I owe it to my wife, Debbie, for coming up with the name The Man of Silver. And I just love what I do. I love helping people. I love writing them checks and the relationships, you know, that I have. And once tons of referrals I get. I do no advertising. And to me, when someone invites me into their home and I'm recommended, that means everything.
And you're also very involved in continuity of care and some programs like that around the Chicagoland area.
I created a group for continuity care. I'm also belong to Illinois Continuity Care. And to me...
What does that mean? What are those programs for listeners that don't know what that is?
Today is 2024 will be the largest amount of people, baby boomers turning 65 in any year, period. So today, about 11,300 baby boomers will turn 65.
Just in one day?
Yes, an additional 11,300 yesterday and another tomorrow, every day for 2024. What that means is we have millions of baby boomers turning 65 today. And when we think of ARP, that's when you turn 50. You qualify for ARP at 50. And it's not just the 65-year-olds, it's their kids. And sometimes that 65-year-old has their parents still alive. And so often we think of positive things that go from generation to generation. I learned business from my dad, and I always thought things like music or art went from generation to generation. I learned from my dad that business does too. But so does all that clutter that goes from generation to generation. Mm-hmm. And I say so much. Yes, thank goodness, Mindy likes that clutter. It's job security.
That's a great segue to what you do.
But, it's, in the end, we need to get rid of this. We shouldn't be dumping on the next generation what was dumped on us. And I always joke, it's not a joke, actually. 90% of all the self-storage space in the world is in the United States. Ugh. And to me, this group is talking about dealing with the issues of getting older, being a kid of someone getting older, our parents, our grandparents, and creating that dialogue. And you ask what continuity care is? It's me surrounding myself with people like this group, this a senior resource team to help each other, because to me, seniors and their families are the most vulnerable population, and they need us. They need to be able to say, Jordan, I need a realtor, I need a home organizer, I need a will or a trust, and that's what we're here for, to help each other, to help the most vulnerable people in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And now we have Mindy Leonard, and she started a company called Super Organized Spaces. And Mindy, tell us about it. How did you get started? When did you start it?
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Actually, tomorrow is my 2-year anniversary.
Oh,
So-
congratulations!
I was doing the math in my head, going through the calendar. Wait, yes, tomorrow is May 25th. That's when I became official. I got my LLC. I've been doing it unofficially a lot longer. I've always been the person who I love packing. I know people think that's crazy, but if someone is moving, I will always help them pack, unpack, organize, redo a space, a closet, or whatever. My mind works that way. And it's very intuitive to me. And other people have things that are very intuitive to them, right? And this is just something that works for me. So it's been an amazing 2 years, an amazing ride. And like so much of what we all have said, being able to help people is, and being able to help somebody so directly is just an incredible thing. So much of what we do, the product, the end result, yes, it looks pretty. The space is nice, right? But that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to come up with solutions to make somebody's home more efficient, to make a process in their home, the kids are coming home from school, the grandparents are there, or whatever the case is. How do we manage everything so that the physical space isn't cluttered and then your mind isn't as cluttered? And as far as working with seniors, when I was in college, my grandfather had Alzheimer's and he was in a nursing home. And I would go and visit him and I would talk to everybody, not just my grandfather. And I built relationships with everybody. And I was in college, like I said, and the director asked me to come on and be their activities director. Which I didn't do because I was in college. But I've just always had a soft spot. And that was just I remember going to see him. I remember being with all the other residents who never got visitors. And, both my parents are passed now. And it's, so much of like what you were saying, Jordan, it's just stuff gets passed down from generation to generation and everybody thinks their kids want it. And I hate to tell you, your kids don't want it.
Nope.
Nobody wants it. It doesn't matter what it is. They don't want it. And the beautiful hand knit blankets and the china and the crystal and the tons and tons of pictures, people don't want it. And so to be able to go into somebody's home, for them to show me and be very vulnerable, because that's what they are, and I am very empathetic and very thoughtful about how I do things, and to be able to go into somebody's house and work with them on how to get rid of things and not put it in the landfill and do it in a very thoughtful way and make them feel good that it's going to a new home or something like that. It's just really special. And I love being part of this group.
Well, we love having you in our group.
It is a wonderful group, and we are really passionate about what we do and finding other resources that are just as passionate about the people we work with, that we can trust for our clients, is a big passion for everyone in this group. So Jasmine and I are realtors. We are a team with Berkshire Hathaway. We work all over the North Shore, and about a year and a half ago, we had an opportunity to get our certification in seniors real estate as seniors real estate specialists. And we actually met Kendra and Jordan through that process. They were guest speakers in some of the class that we took, and we created a relationship with them through that. And so that's how we met them. Mindy, we met as a vendor within the community, and we have used her for some of our clients, as well as Jordan and Kendra. So we know their work personally and would recommend them without fail. So we love being a part of this group. But we both have aging parents that we are assisting. My parents live in my home, and after a medical situation that we had to step into. And Jasmine?
My mom is living independently, but has round-the-clock care. And actually, when we were taking our senior real estate certification class and met Jordan, my mother was begging me to take her silver somewhere and get it appraised and get it sold. And I just kept saying, I don't have time for this. I don't know where to go. And then I met Jordan, and he was a lifesaver and actually made a house call to my mom's. And Shannon and I got to see what he does. And he wrote her a check on the spot and took away all of her tarnished silver. It was wonderful.
And you didn't have to listen to your mom complain
I didn't
anymore.
Nope. And she, you know what? And then she divided that money that she made from the sale amongst her grandkids. And they were going on spring break and they had some spending money. So that was lovely. And Kendra does a lot of our closings for Shannon and I. She's done several closings. And Mindy has helped us stage a home and purge and all of that. So buying and selling real estate is probably one of the biggest expenses people have. And you need a trusted team behind you. And
Absolutely.
Shannon and I have put that together, and we want to give back now. That's our why. We want to give back to the community. And if we can have some of the professionals that we personally have worked with on this podcast to give some advice, we're happy to share it. So I think that's my why. I want to give back, and we're so grateful to have this team put together.
Absolutely. It's been really fun working with all of these people, and we look forward to more sessions and to give you guys just really pertinent information that's going to help you along the way.
And it's not just for aging seniors that are no longer capable of living at home. It's how do you prepare when you're in your 30s? What do you need to think about to get things in place for when you're older? So
That's right.
it's going to be a lot of information, and we're so excited to share that with you.
So we're glad you tuned in, and we'll see you next week.